Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big Nick Energy YouTube channel. Mill here with another Knicks post game. This one is a win. The Knicks won against the Detroit Pistons, 118 to 112. It was surprisingly a very competitive game. Going into this, I definitely didn't think we would be winning by just 6 points. And at the end, it was competitive. It felt like we were playing against a team that was above 500 and a team that wasn't on a 15-game losing streak. Yeah, the Detroit Pistons have now officially lost 16 games in a row, I believe. I heard they were on a 15-game losing streak and they just lost tonight, so I believe we just handed them their 16th L of the season. Really unfortunate for them because I can't imagine losing 16 in a row and having any type of sanity left in me. So my thoughts go out to all the Pistons fans out there. You definitely have to have some loyalty and dedication to still be watching the Pistons team. They have a lot of young talent, honestly. So watching them, I get it. They're going to lose like almost every time, but it's exciting to watch the young talent. And as a Knicks fan, we've been there before. Don't forget about our 17-win season. I try to forget that a lot, but it's still pretty recent in my head. I think about it sometimes, and a lot of teams like the Detroit Pistons are going through the same thing right now. They have a lot of young players, no star players right now on their team that will lead them to be an above 500 team in this NBA, unfortunately. But like I mentioned, they have a lot of young talent that they're looking forward to, including Cade Cunningham. Who else do we got over here? Ozzer, Thompson, Jalen Duran, a lot of guys, Hayes, so many guys that they just have to let it play out. As a Knicks fan, and my advice to Detroit Pistons fans right now who, we've been through this before, you just have to let it play out, see what happens. Some of these young guys will stay, some of these young guys will go. Just let it play out. What's up, Kareem? Salute to everyone in the chat right now and everyone joining in. Great win tonight. It was a competitive and tough one. It was really funny because my dad was telling me before the game even started, he was telling me he does not like this game at all. He knew it was going to be this difficult to win. And it's just what he was saying was true. Opponents like the Pistons will come into the MSG and they'll try their hardest. They're on a 15-game losing streak. They're going to try their hardest to get a win. And they definitely did. They stayed in this game. I know they went down in the first half. They went down by 16 at one point, but they came back in that second half and made it competitive. They were hitting shots, and we closed out. We executed down the stretch, and we closed out this game as we should. So that's what led to this win. What's up, CP? Any thoughts on the game you want to comment? And we'll get to it. Jonathan said, yes, I was just getting ready to say, been there, done that. Exactly. I mean, we all remember the losing seasons we went through not too long ago, just a few years ago we went through, and including that 17-win season, which was so dreadful. The Pistons are going through that right now. Right now, they're 2-17 for the season. Man, and my heart really goes out to the Piston fans because that's so awful. And we surveyed 100 people, said find Grimes a seat next to Fournier on the bench somewhere. Oh man, I was just waiting for this comment. I was waiting for someone to mention it. Is it time to bench Grimes? Is it time for him to come off of the bench? Everyone that's watching, comment if you think that he should be benched. Not benched and not played, but if he should be a part of the bench unit. Because with the way Dante DiVincenzo was playing with the starters, he looks like he belongs there. In all honesty, he fits really well with that starting unit. The connection between him and Brunson, it's a great connection right there. And obviously they played college ball together. They've had that connection for years. And he's even connecting with Randle. We saw them pass it back a little back and forth. I think he threw a lob to Mitch. I remember seeing him throw a lob to Mitch as well. he's really connecting with the starters and putting up a debate if he should belong in that starting five. I don't know where I stand on this because it's tough. I give a lot of credit to Grimes for what he's done for us for this past season. Uh, last season and in the playoffs, he did his job. He's a tough fighter on the defensive end, but unfortunately, offensively, we haven't seen him get going much. The last few games, he's been struggling tremendously. Tonight, 0 points. The first time he had a 0-point game was not too long ago. I believe it was a few games ago, and I said that can't happen again. So the fact that it did, I don't know. There has to be some discussion and some consideration for him to come off the bench because clearly he's getting no offensive production from the starting unit. He was 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. And I was hoping he would have gone off tonight. I was hoping, we're facing the Detroit Pistons, a team that is not great, 2-17. I was hoping he could finally get in rhythm tonight, get his shots in and flowing, but that wasn't the case. He didn't hit a single shot and had 0 points overall. Dante DiVincenzo did go off, though. In total, Dante had 12 points in 23 minutes. He was 4 for 8 from the field and 4 for 8 from the 3-point line. Right now, Dante is just looking like he's more deserving of that starting shooting guard spot, if I'm going to be honest. Appreciate that comment. Love your content, Mil. I love your content as well. I know you from Instagram. And yeah, I watch your YouTube as well. Appreciate that. CP said, ugly game. We've been good this season at dominating the inferior teams, but not tonight. Thank goodness for Jalen Brunson is all I got. Agreed. Thank goodness for Jalen Brunson. If you can see right next to me, we have the Jalen Brunson merch shirt up right next to me. And I actually have that shirt on right now. I don't know if anyone can see it. It's him doing his little signature pose after he hits a 3. And if you want the shirt as well, head over to bignickenergy.com and go purchase it. Right now, we're doing free shipping on all orders. If you use that code right next to me, XMISS23. I love the Jalen Brunson merch. You can't really find this type of shirt on the Knicks regular, Knicks NBA.com or even MSG. You can't find that type of shirt there. They haven't made it yet. Big Nick Energy has it. We got it. But I agree with you, CP. It was an ugly game. The fact that we let them come back after being up 16, and it's just not excusable. I hate the fact that we've been letting our leads go. Against the Hornets as well, we were up by, I think it was 15, and we also let them come back. But we did close out that one, and we closed out this one. But we can't let our leads go. I know the NBA is changing and leads come and go really fast nowadays, but I would love to see us maintain a consistent lead against bad teams like the Pistons. Jonathan said, we have a rough assignment tomorrow night in Canada against the Raptors. Yeah, we definitely do, especially because it's a back-to-back, and you guys know that we struggle against back-to-backs. We've only won one back-to-back this season. We've lost the other 3 or 4, I believe we had. So it's always tough when it's a back-to-back, especially because they're traveling to Canada. So it's an away game. It's in a different country. They're traveling there, I believe, right after the game right now. It's tough because of the location, because it's a back-to-back. And the Raptors are definitely better than the Detroit Pistons. So it's not going to be a game like tonight. It's definitely going to be more competitive. They are 10th in the Eastern Conference, but they still have a lot of players on their team that can put up a fight, including someone like Pascal Siakam, who gave us a big fight last season. I don't know if you guys remember heart-crushing game last season. He had like 57 points against us, or even 60. I'm going to look it up right now because I remember that game. It was like soul-crushing against us, and it made me hate Siakam for a little bit because he was rubbing it in our face. Let's check it out. I don't see it. He had his career high 52 points against us last season on December 21st. Yeah, so right before Christmas, he had his career high game against us, and they won that game. It was a tough loss. Hopefully tomorrow night will not be the same case. We will get the outcome we want, which is a win, and we won't let Siakam go off. I don't think he's hurt or anything right now. I believe he's playing, but I haven't heard much of him. I haven't heard much about him this season so far. So this season, he is averaging 19 points per game. You know, he's taking, I don't know if he's regressed a little bit. I always hear comparisons of him to Julius Randle on how they both regress. Julius Randle didn't regress, obviously. Looking at him tonight, he's still the same player as last season. But Siakam might have regressed a little bit, and he's not playing that 52-point play that 52-point player we saw last season. CP said move Grimes for DiVincenzo or IQ. I really do think IQ is the move to show commitment to him long-term ahead of the season. Wow, CP, I was literally just thinking about that before the game. I was debating about it in my head. The IQ situation is really tricky because I understand why a lot of people want him coming off of the bench. Obviously, he provides a spark off of the bench. Not so much tonight. He was having a little bit of a tough night. Overall for IQ, he only had 5 points. He was 2 for 10 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. So a rough shooting night for him. But usually IQ does provide that spark off of the bench. And before tonight, he was averaging, I believe, 16 or 17 off the bench. And we know that next summer he is going to be offered contracts by other teams. We didn't offer him an extension, so he will become a free agent next summer. And if we don't, I heard that he wants, I think, around 25 million over a 4-year contract, something, per year. So the Knicks were not willing to offer him that. That's definitely starter money right there. So if you're providing him starter money, does he have to start? That's the question I have. It's a really tricky situation because I love Immanuel Quickley. He's a great player. He's been great for us last season and this season so far. He's the reason we got so many wins last season because of how he contributed to our bench. Our bench was a big part of last season. But at what point do we decide that he should start? It's difficult to think about, and I don't think Tibbs is there yet. I don't think Tibbs is considering starting him yet. Maybe we'll see something like it in midseason, but right now he's coming off the bench, and yeah, I'll just say it's tough. Tibbs preaches earn your minutes. Based off that logic, Dante deserves it more than Grimes right now. That's 100% true. We do know that Tibbs favors other players, though, over certain players. He definitely favors guys like Randle, and if Grimes continues to start, we might see a little favoritism towards Grimes because Dante is definitely putting in the work and showing why he should start. He's, making the front office and Tibbs really consider putting him in the starting lineup. And as fans, we're noticing it too. I think a majority of us want him to start after seeing how well he fits with the starting lineup, and he's actually providing an offense. Grimes 0 points tonight, and the last few games has struggled tremendously. No offensive production from him. It's unfortunate. He's taking a regression, and we didn't expect it. We definitely didn't expect Grimes to be how he is now. We saw sparks last season of him being such a better player, especially on the offensive end. Yeah, Kareem said it right here. Grimes definitely took 2 steps back. It's so unfortunate because I just don't want to hate on him, and I don't want them to have to put him on the bench, but look at the way Dante is contributing to wins and is contributing to our offense. CP said Tibbs rips into the defensive effort in his post game. Oh man, I gotta watch the post game interviews and everything. Yeah. CP also said dope shirt. I appreciate that. From bignickenergy.com. If any of you guys want it that are tuning in, head over to bignickenergy.com and just look at all the collection that we have. We don't just have JB shirts. We have shirts for pretty much every player. We have shirts for Quickly, RJ, Mitchell Robinson, Randall, even Tom Thibodeau. It's crazy. We got a Coach Tibbs shirt on there as well. So whoever you favor on this team, go get yourself a shirt of them. We surveyed 100 people, said Mitch is an animal on the boards. He had more offensive rebounds than defensive, 6-3. Yeah, we've been seeing that so far this season. He's been a monster, complete monster, and his offensive boards this season have spiked like tremendously. We haven't really seen him play this way before and grabbing all these offensive boards. I believe he is second on the, I don't know. I saw something that he might be second on the Knicks all-time list for grabbing offensive boards. He might be behind Charles Oakley. I'm not sure. I have to recheck that list. But he's also just climbing ladders in the NBA in general, not just the Knicks all-time leaders. He's climbing NBA's ladder as well. He leads the league in offensive boards. RJ gonna cook tomorrow, definitely. With him being back in home, I'm sure most of you know he's from Canada. He's gonna want to show out. Hopefully he does, because he has cooled down a little bit after his migraine. The few games that he's been back now, he's cooled down a little bit and hasn't really had a big game so far, mainly staying in the teens with his points, such as tonight he had 15 points and he was 5 for 12 from the field, so not bad, but 1 for 6 from 3, which, you know, is really unfortunate because before his migraine injury, he was literally shooting 50% from the three-point line. He was amazing from the three-point line, but 1 for 6 for tonight, that sucks. Definitely hope he gets back into that rhythm from the three-point line, because he was looking so confident when he was shooting it prior to his migraine injury, and we need him to get back into that state because this is RJ's year. We're all going to continue to say it. I want RJ to, you know, finally just be an offensive machine and score over 20 a night and just contribute on the defensive end, which he has been doing, you know, despite struggling a little bit from the field these past few games. He's still contributing in other ways. Let's see what else we got over here. Kareem said, since it's a home game for RJ in Toronto, I hope he goes off. Yeah, what I was just mentioning, he will be in his former home, so hopefully he goes off, because players like to definitely play where they grew up, and it's special for him. Maybe his teammates will look for him a little bit more tomorrow. That would be nice for him. BKE themselves said, we not worried about Scotty Barnes and the Drake fans. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Scotty Barnes. Oh, does anyone in here remember the beef between Barnes and Grimes last season? He kept telling Grimes, you're not him, you're not him. Unfortunately, Grimes is not him right now. He's not him. Grimes needs to go off tomorrow too and show Scotty Barnes once again that he could be him. Because after that stretch when Barnes said to Grimes, you're not him, Grimes kind of went off a little bit. I mean, he had a good stretch and he just had a good rest of the season. But so far, we haven't seen that from Grimes. Grimes better show up and not score at all tonight, like tonight when he had 0. So Grimes, show up tomorrow, or Barnes will continue to tell you you're not him. Demario said, salute, great show, and keep up the great work. Go Knicks. Appreciate that. Appreciate everyone that's tuning in. You know, we're Knicks fans. We're all one family. we're all rooting for the same team. And wins like this definitely make us feel happy. Vin said, we almost got cooked by the Pistons. Let today be a lesson to the boys to not play down to our competition. Exactly. And I don't think many people expected this game to be as competitive as it was, and that fourth quarter to be so enticing and dramatic. It was just straight up dramatic because it was a close game. I don't think anyone expected that, except for my dad. I mentioned this earlier. My dad knew this was going to be a difficult game. Before the game started, he was telling me he doesn't like this matchup. He knows the Pistons are on a 15-game losing streak coming into MSG. He knows they're going to fight hard to get a win. They did fight hard. They didn't get the win, but they were close. Living Life said, great channel. Go Knicks. Appreciate that. And yeah, go Knicks. Great win tonight. We're moving on tomorrow to Toronto. Another back-to-back. Hopefully we could get another win. Right now our record is 11-7. So we're on a good stretch right here. We're doing good. I know a lot of people are worried. A lot of people complain. But we're doing pretty good. Ron said, hey, what's up, Ron? Grimes is homegrown. If he focuses on defense, his offense will flow. Yeah, I mean, we know he's a better defensive player than an offensive player. That's what he specializes in, especially for last season. He was our guy in the backcourt, in that starting lineup. He seriously helped us in many games. He usually guards the best player on the opposing team every night, but tonight he only played 16 minutes. Obviously, DiVincenzo closed out the game and played more minutes. He had 23. Don't know what's going on with Grimes. It might be a mental thing, might be like a confidence thing. Not sure. He's not dealing with an injury as far as we know. He just hasn't been there offensively. Are we concerned? We definitely are. Jonathan said Brunson, Randle, and possibly Barrett will all be stars. Oh, all-stars, yeah. I think it's going to be really tough to get 3 people into the All-Star game if you're talking about the All-Star game. The last time that happened was, I believe, the 90s. I remember reading about it. I'm going to look it up really quick because I'm curious on who it was. I think it was Starks and someone else. Max Knicks 3 All-Stars. Let's see if I could find it really quick. I'm not seeing anything, but I know we did get 3 Knicks into the All-Star game at one point in the 90s. If anyone remembers who it is, comment. We surveyed 100 people. Check the merch. Nice. Might pick up the Blockness and Ghetto Tips shirts. Yeah, the Blockness monster so far, because honestly, Mitchell Robinson doesn't have too many merch clothing out there. It's hard to find a lot for him. In general, it'll just be about the Knicks, and you might see some for Jalen Brunson now because he is our star, but you will not see any for Robinson. We're probably one of the only Knicks websites to have merch for him, so definitely shout out Mitch. And the Tibbs shirt is hilarious, honestly. Again, you won't find a lot of Tibbs merch anywhere else. So if you're a big Tibbs guy, go ahead and get yourself some Tibbs merch and rep our coach. James O'Connor Productions. Hey, Mill, love what you've been doing lately. Go, New York, go. What's up, James? I know we haven't spoken in a long time, but I hope you're doing good. And I appreciate your comment. Go, New York, go, New York, go. I know. Good win for us tonight. I hope we can keep it up. I love when the Knicks win. I'm so happy right now. All Geeks said, yeah, Grimes' look on the bench was off. Yeah. Like I said earlier, I really have no idea what's going on with him, but all of us Knicks fans are so concerned about it because he's making a really hard argument for himself between him and DiVincenzo that he should come off the bench and DiVincenzo should start. He's not really providing us with anything there. I mean, 0 points tonight, and this isn't his first 0-point game of the season. Unfortunately, it's happened before, and it was actually pretty recently. I don't remember who it was against, but I remember talking about it in the post game, and I said, this can't happen again. It happened again. And at this point, I said if it happens again, there needs to be a reconsideration about his starting role. Hey, Mill. What's up, Brandon? Any thoughts on the game tonight? Great Knicks win. Exactly. Annoying that we have another back-to-back. I know. I was just talking about it earlier. We struggle against those back-to-backs. But someone mentioned in the comments, obviously RJ will be home tomorrow. Maybe he can go off. Maybe we could see a 30-piece from him or even a 40-piece like Brunson tonight. We have to, I'm hoping we can see something like that, even though it's a back-to-back. It'll be difficult. I didn't even get to mention the box score yet. I didn't even get to mention, Brunson had a great game. Let's talk about his stats tonight. He got MVP chance late in the fourth quarter. I don't know if any of you guys heard the MVP chants. He full-on deserves them. He's been great for us this season, and he's been so consistent. Like, this is a really good stretch for him. I'm waiting, I'm so surprised every night how he's been able to still put up 20, still put up 30. He hasn't had a bad game in a while, and I'm going to knock on some wood so I don't jinx that. Yeah, we're not going to jinx that. Oh, thank you, Jonathan, for mentioning it. Starks, Ewing, and Oakley, 94 All-Stars. Yeah, I remember the last time the Knicks had 3 players in the All-Star game. It was 94. And like you mentioned, it was those 3 players. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get Randle, Brunson, and RJ all in, especially because he's struggled a little bit these past few games, and I'm not sure how long that's going to last. He has to amp up his game if he wants to start being in the talk for All-Star consideration. Brunson is definitely going to be in it, though. He got snubbed last year. He has to be in it this year with the way he's been playing and the way he's been contributing to winning basketball for us. All Geeks, Brunson said Brunson was on fire all around tonight. Yeah, great game by him. Overall, he had 42 points. In 40 minutes, so he did play a majority of the game. He had to play I think that entire fourth quarter or just a large chunk of it because it was a competitive game. The Pistons were not backing down. They kept coming back. They were inching back. They would score and it would be tied. We'd only be up a few points in that fourth quarter. They were inching back, so Brunson had to play because clearly he was feeling it tonight and we had to keep him in. Let's see here. So, yeah, as I mentioned, he had 42 points on 13 for 24 from the field and 7 for 12 from the three-point line. He had 7 three-pointers. I have to say that his three-point shooting this season has been great. And it's really helping us because we all remember that in the playoffs, we struggled tremendously from the three-point line. And even during the regular season, we weren't the best. We weren't one of the best teams with the three-point percentage. But the fact that he is contributing every night with multiple threes is really helping this Knicks team. He's increasing our three-point percentage. It's helpful. So 7 3-pointers tonight is crazy from him. And I have to mention it again. Next to me, you see the shirt with his celebration. That's the celebration he does after his threes. He doesn't do it after every 3, but he'll do it after the important ones. So, that's his signature move right there. We still don't know what it means. Someone asked him in an interview. I remember, I think it was last year during the playoffs. A reporter asked him during the interview, what does it mean? He said, don't worry about it. So we still have no idea what exactly it means. Maybe we'll find out someday. Besides Brunson, though, I mean, I would love to talk about him. I could talk about him for hours. He's amazing. And the MVP chance he got tonight were so warranted. He deserves it. He's been carrying this team through multiple games, almost every night. He carries this team to wins, to fighting. His offensive production has been unbelievable. And a lot of people thought he was going to regress this season, take a step down, because he had such a great season last year. And people said they figured out Jalen Brunson and he's not going to be the same this year. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. He's still, and I could say he's even better this season because he has increased his 3-point percentage and has increased his 3-point attempts. So he's elevated his game in some way. He also took 10 free throws, was 9 for 10, so very efficient from the free throw line. We love to see it. We love to see our guys making their free throws. We also know free throws were a problem for us. So any free throw that's made, I'll take it. Jonathan said we haven't had an all-star since David Lee. You mean just like a regular all-star? Because Randle was an all-star. He was all-star in 2021, and last year he was. And then Melo was all-star for a long stretch. Oh, and then I see your comment now. But after the trade, Melo was an all-star with the Knicks. Yeah, exactly. Can't forget about those Melo days. So along with, I went through Brunson. I have to mention Julius Randle. I have to give him his credit. Tonight, he also had a big game, 29 points for him in 38 minutes. He was efficient from the field. He went 12 for 21 and also had 2 3-pointers. Only attempted 6 free throws tonight, was 3 for 6. So he did miss three free throws, was 50% from the free throw line. A little disappointed about him being so erratic from the free throw line this season. I don't know what's going on with him sometimes. Or not just him. A lot of our Knicks players struggle from the free throw line still, and they're not consistent with it. But still, big props to him for tonight. He showed up, and along with the 29 points, he had 10 rebounds and 8 assists. That's a big part of this win. And it's a big part of his game. When he is passing the ball, it is really a key to our offense. It's a key to success when he averages more than 5 assists. And tonight he had 8. I love to see him pass the ball and share the ball well, making the smart passes, not those like lackadaisical, crazy passes all around. He's making the smart passes. And that's just the key to success right there. When he's passing the ball, it really helps. Brandon said, what about the in-season tourney? Think we can make it to Vegas? I don't know. It's going to be tough because we face the Bucks, who we haven't beat this season yet. So there's that. That's always going to be a really tough matchup for us. I'm looking up something right now and nothing's loading. But the Bucks are a tough matchup in general. It'll be tough because they're also on their home court. So we don't have home court advantage in that tournament. But I do still have confidence that we can do it. I know the game we played against them very early on in the season, it was pretty close. And I believe we had a chance to win that game. Unfortunately, we didn't. Dame time at the end of that game happened and they won. But it was a close game, and I'm not counting ourselves out of this in-season tournament yet. They are 13-6 for the season so far, and we're not too far behind them. We are 11-7. We should have won more games. We should be a little higher up. There's so many. We've had a few close games this season so far, so we should definitely have a little bit of a higher record. But I think it'll be a good game, very competitive game. Jonathan said Randle has to stay consistent. Agreed. If we could get this type of Randle every night, we would make the Eastern Conference Finals at this point, because there's nothing more you can ask for from a player than to score 30 and then to have 10 rebounds and 8 assists. That's almost a triple-double right there. He was great tonight. The effort was there. And, this is the second consecutive night that he's had a really great game, the last game against the Hornets. And we also saw a lot of effort in that Hornets game. I love seeing the effort from him. There's been some games so far this season where his effort has been questionable. If you all know what I'm talking about, there's been some plays that have been pointed out where the effort wasn't there. And on the defensive end, he wasn't showing up. But I definitely think he's working on it and he's improving. And it starts with games like this. It's not a great team we're playing against, but it starts with this, and I definitely think he could still improve on his defense. Coming out of an injury, I think the biggest weakness a player has is their defensive effort. Definitely players are not the same after an injury on the defensive end. It's hard for them. And his injury was an ankle injury, so I get it. It's hard. But we need to see more out of him on that end. We need to see more effort like tonight, to get more wins. We can be a great team, and we can make it really far if Randle continues to be consistent. Brandon said, we played him without RJ and should have won. Yeah, you're talking about the Bucks game? I believe you're referring to that. That was really early on this season, honestly. The quarterfinal to the in-season tournament is Tuesday, December 5th. So basically 5 days away. We will be playing against the Bucks, and it's a quarterfinal game. If we win, I'm not exactly sure. Oh, we'll play either the Pacers or the Celtics. That's their matchup right there. So if we win against the Bucks, we'll play the Pacers or the Celtics. I'm hoping we play the Pacers just because obviously that's a better matchup than playing against the Celtics. We usually own the Pacers. And it'll just also be a great narrative to play against our former player, Obi Toppin. I was a big Obi guy. I think that'd be our first time meeting the Pacers this season. We haven't played against the Pacers this season, I don't believe. But yeah, that would be interesting to see. Brandon said we played him in Milwaukee and Brook Lopez set an illegal screen on last play. We should have had free throws. Oh yeah, you're completely right. You're giving me flashbacks. I remember now. That Brook Lopez screen. Oh man, I hope if that happens in the quarterfinal that they actually call it this time. We need to see illegal screens called more often. Brennan said the league said they missed a call and that was major. We would have shot free throws down one with under 30 seconds left. Totally got cheated by the refs. Yeah, you're definitely refreshing my mind there. I remember it all. I remember being so upset about it. And I hate when the refs, if you guys know, the refs like have a Twitter account, and after each NBA game, they'll do like a 2-minute report where in the last 2 minutes, they'll call out any plays that were wrong or right, or they'll say any play that's wrong. And I hate it though. I hate them calling out which plays should have been, called a certain way, because what's the point of calling them out now? It can't really do anything. And it just makes me more mad that you're saying it should have been an illegal screen. Knicks should have got the ball. Well, you guys can't do anything now. It hurts hearing those sometimes because we know it as fans. We see it in real time. We see it what it should be. And then after the game, they go on to make their 2-minute reports. We already knew it. Jonathan said, no offense to the play-in tournament, but it's not that serious. All that matters is that we are winning games and chase after the Larry O'Brien trophy. That trophy matters. Yeah, I get that point of view, and I definitely had that point of view like a week ago. But to me, the in-season tournament, it's definitely more exciting. I think when we were playing, who was it? Who were we playing? The Hornets. We were playing against the Hornets. and we had to win the game. And then we also had to win by a certain amount of points, I believe. It was a little exciting at the end, and I think the players are excited for it too. They were talking about it. Randall was talking about it in his post-game interview. And if they're excited about it, we could be excited about it too. But you're right. The ultimate goal is to win the championship, get that Larry O'Brien trophy. So you're right. Um, this might be a small goal on their list right now to win the in-season tournament, but the ultimate goal and number one priority is the championship. Dope said we have to start beating good teams and stop playing down to bad ones. And what is going on with our third quarters lately? I have the same question as you, because tonight I had deja vu when we let our lead be cut once again. In the first half we were up by 16 at one point, and that second half was a different story. It was a competitive game, and it was really close. So they came back after being down 16, and that was similar to the Hornets game the other night, where they were down 15 and they came back as well. I'm not sure what's going on in those third quarters. It's hard to watch. And I think third quarters have always been an issue for the Knicks throughout the years, honestly, because I feel like this is something I've been complaining about for years. The Knicks come out of halftime and they don't know how to play basketball. I don't know what goes on during their halftime break, but it's always something in the third quarter. And to the first point of your comment, we have to start beating good teams. You're right. I don't think we've beat a team over 500 yet. We've also been playing a lot of bad teams though. So a majority of the teams we played so far have been under 500. But it is a little concerning that we haven't beat any team over 500, like the Celtics, who we've played a few times already. The Bucks. Not sure who else we got in there. But yeah. Oh yeah. So there's the Suns. There's a few teams, really good teams that we have yet to beat. And I would say it's a little concerning just because we haven't been able to execute. Like, those have all been close games, but we haven't been able to execute down the stretch in those games. They're against really good teams that know how to execute down the stretch. Unlike us, we sometimes don't have a game plan at all, and that's what leads to us losing. And, it's other things as well. Sometimes it's missed free throws, or it can be a number of things. Because I do specifically remember that some games we do miss a lot of free throws, especially down the stretch. And other games we just don't show up on offense in the last quarter. It's tough because we need to start winning against good teams. You're right. Brandon said, to be honest, Obi could re-sign with New York this offseason. He's from New York, and I could see him coming back. I've heard someone mention that before, that he could possibly re-sign with us this offseason because he didn't get an extension as well. So he will be a free agent this offseason, I think. And I'm not even sure if the Knicks would do that. Am I opposed to that? No, I'm not opposed to that. If you guys don't know, I was a big Obi guy. Some of you guys may not be, but I was. I saw his potential, and he's been playing pretty good. I know he got moved to the bench. I'm not sure if he's still on the bench, but he's putting up numbers off of the bench. And the Pacers have been pretty good. Let me take a look at their record right here. They're 7th in the Eastern Conference. Their record is 9-8. 9-8. Why is their record so low? I mean, our record is 11-7. So, I mean, I guess we've just played like 2 more games than them, but still. I wouldn't be opposed to Toppin re-signing this summer because you guys know I love Obi Toppin, and we still need a backup 4. Let's be real. We still need a backup 4. Randall can't be playing like 40 minutes a night, and then, we need a backup 4. Especially at times where Randall, I'm not hoping this happens, but games where Randall's really struggling and we just can't keep him out there, we definitely need a backup for him, someone with size. Jonathan said Toppin got more minutes with the Pacers. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, he's getting more minutes, but also he's dealing with some stuff on the Pacers as well, because I've heard he's just not getting the amount of minutes he should be getting. He is coming off of the bench, I believe. It's tricky. Jonathan said that's because Tibbs didn't give him enough minutes. That's why he left. I'm actually really curious how many minutes he's averaging this season. I'm going to look that up really quick. Minutes per game this season. I don't think I think he's averaging similar to what he was. Oh, okay. It says, CBS Sports. I'm going to look at ESPN. I could have chosen CBS Sports, but I'm curious what ESPN says. Okay, whoa. It actually says he's averaging 23 minutes per game in 16 games he's played so far. I didn't expect that number to be that high. I thought he was going to be averaging like 20 minutes per game or even less, because I've seen a lot of games. I haven't really been keeping up with him, but I've heard of a lot of games where he's only played like 15 minutes, 16 or 20. The fact that he's averaging 23 minutes is surprising and also good for him. Salute. Welcome to the chat. Gut check win. Yeah. If the Knicks shouldn't have downplayed the Pistons. I don't know if they did. I don't know any Knicks player's mindset going into this game. But if they did downplay the Pistons, look what happened. It was a pretty close game. Didn't expect it to be this close, especially down the stretch. You know, even they were mentioning it in the MSG post game. The Knicks were only up by a few points, like with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So it was really close. Brennan said Obadiah is him. He is him. I mean, I'm happy for him that he's averaging more points and he's averaging more minutes and on the Pacers. Good for him. Oh, Brennan already had the stats up. I didn't even have to look it up. He's averaging 25. Let me get my light going here again. He didn't play the whole second. Oh, let me read Brandon's comment. He didn't play the whole second half like a game or two ago. Yeah, I heard about that. I've been hearing a lot of situations similar to that where he is not getting the amount of minutes he should be getting. I follow Obi Toppin Muse on Twitter, so I hear about those situations often. Let me go back to the box score, talk about the game. I went through Brunson. Let's see who else. Let's put my light back on too. Let's see if it's coming on. There we go. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Yeah, I went through Brunson. I went through Randle. Both had great games. Second consecutive game where they were both phenomenal. Robinson did his thing. Someone mentioned it before. He had more offensive rebounds than rebounds. Yeah, he had 6 offensive rebounds, 3 defensive rebounds. Man, he is a complete monster out there on the boards. He also had a few points. He had 6 points, 2 for 4 from the field. RJ had a quiet game. Didn't necessarily struggle from the field, but did struggle from the 3-point line, was 1 for 6, and overall had 15 points. I mentioned it in the beginning of the game, the post game. Grimes only had 0 points. Yeah, 0 in 16 minutes of action. He was 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. He's not attempting a lot of threes. If I were to look it up right now, I would guess he's averaging like 4 or 5 threes a game if you take like the past games, because this is like the second game in a row that he has only shot 3 threes. He is supposed to be a 3-point shooter. Hardenstein off the bench, only 2 points. But, you know, he got a few rebounds as well. Mainly off the bench, it was DiVincenzo who did his thing, who provided that spark. especially playing with the starters. He had 3 clutch three-pointers in the fourth quarter. That's exactly what we need, especially in the fourth quarter. We need those threes to go in, and he did it for us. He's completely providing that spark that we need. Overall, he had 12 points, was 4 for 8 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3. So 4 threes for him. Great job tonight from him. Hart as well. He had a good game. In 7 points in total, 2 for 3 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3-point line. Good game by Hart. And let's see how many rebounds he had. 7 rebounds too. That's what we always look for. That's what I always look for Hart, because we know he also grabs a lot of boards. And 1 steal, 2 assists. Moving on to Quickly, I did mention him as well. He struggled tonight, but he was 2 for 10 from the field, 1 for 5 from the 3-point line, and only had 5 points. I was hoping Quickly would go off this game because, I don't know, I just love seeing Emmanuel Quickly go off and play great basketball, but that wasn't the case. He struggled. And every time he shot the ball, it would just go in and out, and I would be so frustrated. I'm sure he was more frustrated because it's him who's playing, but I was frustrated watching it go in and out when it was so close to going in. Brendan said, think we can come out with a win tomorrow. Yeah, it'll be difficult because, Brendan, we struggle with back-to-backs. And this is the Raptors, so it's a better team than the Pistons. I think it'll be more competitive. It'll be a tough matchup for us. Raptors aren't necessarily like a top team in the East, but they'll still be more like a better matchup than the Pistons. I have to do a little scouting report on the Raptors, honestly. I'm not sure if they have any injuries, but I know a lot of Scotty Barnes, I believe, has been having a great season. I remember seeing his stats a few weeks ago. I'm not sure if he's still scoring over 20 points per game. I'm going to check right now. That's what I saw last time. Okay, so he is scoring just under 20 at 19 points per game. He's really elevated his offensive game because last season it was just I'm not even sure what his averages were last season, but this season he's definitely elevated. And along with the 19 points per game he averages, he's averaging 9 rebounds, 5.5 assists, and shooting on 45%. We're gonna have to watch out for him. I'm looking at the game log, and yeah, they played yesterday. He had 23 points. It was a win for Toronto. We have to contain him. He's a big part of the Raptors offense now, so got to contain him. But I'm going to do a full scouting report after this post game just to see who exactly is going to be a threat to us tomorrow. Obviously, Scotty Barnes will be one of them. We have a few players up there too. Jonathan said, I met Obi back in the summer of 2021 at Hits Hoops in the Sun. Oh, that's dope. I never got the chance to meet him. That was so unfortunate. And I never even got the chance to wear his jersey in MSG with him playing there. I bought his jersey last year, right around this time, actually, like in November. And I never went to a game last season. Yeah, I know. So he was gone in the summer. Unfortunately, I'm just going to have to keep his jersey in the closet. I was thinking of going to the game where the Pacers come to MSG and maybe wearing it then. Not sure if I'll go, but we'll see. Looking at some team stats over here, I was really surprised to see that the Pistons shot so well from the field. 53%. If they shot that well from the field every night, they would be a top team in the East. They don't usually shoot 53%. They're one of the I know their field goal percentage is actually better than us. If you guys don't know, the Knicks actually have one of the worst field goal percentage in the NBA right now. Shout out to whoever pointed that out on Twitter, I believe it was, I saw. We have, let me see, I screenshotted it. I'm going to see if I can find it. We're 28th in the NBA for our field goal percentage, which is 44.1%. If that doesn't go to show you how much we struggle from the field sometimes, it's true. I mean, not Brunson. Clearly, Brunson, take out Brunson, who's been carrying this team. He's probably the reason that we're even not 30 on that list or 29. But we do struggle from the field a lot. Our offense is questionable at times. So the Pistons do have a better field goal percentage than us coming into this game tonight. They were at 45%, but tonight they shot 53% from the field. So they were feeling it. They were making a lot of shots. Specifically, and the three-point line, they were great as well. They shot 42% from the three. They made 15 three-pointers. I don't even think they averaged 15 three-pointers a night. Let's see. They're 25th in the league from the three-point line, shooting 34.7% from the three-point line. So the fact that they shot 42% tonight and they made 15 threes, it goes to show you our defense is not great at times. Our defense definitely struggles at defending the three, contesting the three. We saw that against the Phoenix Suns game when we let Eric Gordon shoot make 6 threes against us. Him, along with a few other guys, had a lot of threes. Sometimes we cannot contest the three, and I don't know why. But yeah, going into this game, definitely didn't think that the Pistons would put up a fight like they did and shoot so well from the field and even shoot as many threes as they did. They didn't shoot a lot of free throws. Attempted 17. We attempted 28. And they also struggled from the free throw line. Let's see what else here. Assists, pretty even between the Knicks and the Pistons. Knicks had more steals though. Definitely getting out there with their active hands. And the blocks were the same. Oh, they also had 20 turnovers. Now you can see why they have lost 16 in a row. 20 turnovers. You're not going to win a game when you have 20 turnovers. Thankfully, we only had 11. Let's see. Fast break points, they had more. Points in the paint, even. Fouls, they committed more fouls. That's why we shot more free throws. And the largest lead they had was 2. I remember when they went up by 2. Scary times. I think it was the third quarter. Third or fourth. It might have been the fourth, but it was the second half when they went up by 2. And at that point, I'm thinking, what are the Knicks doing? I don't know what happens to them sometimes because our largest lead in the first half was 16. Brandon said most of that is because the construction worker Julius Randle. Oh, you're definitely right. I kind of forgot how bad he was actually shooting in the first few games of the season, or I would say the first. I don't know how many games it was where he was just shooting bricks, complete bricks. Maybe 10. Might be 10 or a little bit less, but you're right. The first few games for him, awful field goal percentage. So that definitely is a reason why we're nearly last in the NBA for that. But without further ado, I will begin to wrap up this post game. I need some water too. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, including Brandon if you're still here. I appreciate you for sticking with me through the end of the post game, and anyone else who's here, Jonathan, if you're here, anyone. Yeah, I really appreciate all the comments. I like to go through all of them, read all of them, talk about them. I like to know your thoughts as well. You know, it's not just me going through this post game. I like to read your thoughts and we can all talk about it. But I appreciate everyone that tuned in, and if you're tuning in on the replay, let me know in the comments. And before I go, I would like to, I know I mentioned it in the beginning, I would like to talk about this shirt next to me. This is a Jalen Brunson merch from BigNickEnergy.com. I have it on right now. If you see right there, I have on the shirt. So we're actually offering free shipping until December 11th. So use code XMIS23 if you want to get this shirt or any other merch items on the website. Go check it out. We have so much merch for every player, including Tom Thibodeau. If you're a Tibbs guy, yeah, go get your merch and get free shipping while you can. So yeah, thank you to everyone. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. And I hope you guys have a rest of your I hope the rest of your night is great. I'll see you tomorrow after the Raptors game.